Hi, friends. Good morning to everyone. So, today's chapter will focus on supply under GST, which is read under Section 7 of the CGST Act 2017. So, let's break down one of the most important concepts under GST, the scope of supply, which is basically defining what exactly counts as a supply, because GST is charged only when there is a supply. At its core, supply includes all forms of providing goods or services for consideration in the course or furtherance of business. This covers common transactions like sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, or disposal. In simple terms, if you provide something of value in return for payment as part of your business, it is considered as a supply. Now, before proceeding further, we must discuss what are goods and services under GST. Goods means every kind of movable property other than money and securities, but includes actionable claim, growing crops, grass, and things attached to or forming part of the land which are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of sale. First and foremost condition is it should be movable, like mobile phones, cars, furnitures, cloth, etc. Something, if it can be picked up, packed, and transported, it's goods. However, in definition of goods, there is an exclusion for money and securities. So transactions purely for exchange of money are out of ambit of GST. Money itself is not goods. This is because money is a medium of exchange, not a product. Second is securities. If you purchase or sell shares, GST is not applicable on the value of shares. All the brokerage services attract GST. Now, goods include actionable claims. Now, what are actionable claims? In simple terms, an actionable claim is a legal right to receive money, like lottery tickets, betting tickets, insurance claim, etc. Now, there is an interesting fact in this that actionable claims, other than specified actionable claims, are considered neither as supply of service nor supply of goods as per Schedule 3 of the CGST Act. Now, what are specified actionable claims and what is Schedule 3? The same shall be covered in the separate episode. Now comes the last leg of definition, that is growing crops, grass, and things attached to or forming part of land. Please note that as per Schedule 3 of the CGST Act, sale of land is neither considered as supply of goods nor services. But the crops and grass that are grown above land and which are meant to be cut and sold are considered as goods. Let's say Mr. X grows crops in a land, sells land to Mr. Y along with crops to avoid GST, since there is no GST on the sale of land. Now Mr. Y severs the crops, sells the land back to Mr. X. Again, he assumes there is no GST on the sale of land. So the question is, will GST be applicable on such transactions? The answer is yes. The definition says forming part of the land which are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of supply. So in GST, goods include almost everything you can move and sell, from laptops and cars to timber and harvested crops. Even things attached to land can become goods if they are meant to be cut, removed, and supplied. But money and shares are not goods. Think of it like this: if it moves and has value, GST probably treat it as goods. If it stays permanently attached to land, it's not goods, unless you plan to remove and sell it. So we must just study that what are goods under GST. Now we will see what are services. Services means anything other than goods. So the GST has kept it extremely wide and open that anything which is not goods is a service. So again, services means anything other than goods, money and securities, but includes activities relating to the use of money or its conversion by cash by any other mode, from one form, currency or denomination, to another form, currency or denomination, for which a separate consideration is charged. So if something isn't physical product you can touch and move, it's probably a service. Netflix subscription, Spotify subscription, cloud storage fees, freelancers providing remote services, all these are basically services. Even though nothing physically is delivered, GST applies. But GST goes one step further. It also says even activities involving money can be services if a separate fee is charged, like currency exchange is a service. GST is charged on the exchange commission. If you're paying for someone's skill, time, or expertise, it's a service. So if we conclude for services under GST, it includes almost everything that isn't a physical product. When you pay a lawyer, use banking facilities, exchange currency, or subscribe to Netflix, you are paying for services. Even activities involving money, like currency conversion or bank processing fees, become service when a separate fee is charged. Now think of it like this: goods are things you can touch, services are things someone does for you. And in today's world, services form the backbone of the modern economy, and GST ensures they are taxed fairly. Interestingly, GST also treats transactions between entities and their members as supply. Even though traditionally they may have seen as same person, under GST they are treated as separate persons, so transactions between them can attract GST. Earlier, clubs argued that they and their members are same entity, so GST shouldn't apply. The Supreme Court earlier ruled that clubs and members are the same person, so tax shouldn't apply. But GST law overrode this judgment and clarified that clubs and members are separate persons, so GST applies. So if you pay subscription fees to a housing society club, GST may apply. Another key point is that import of services for consideration is treated as supply, even if it is not related to business. So if you receive services from outside India and pay for them, GST may apply. If you pay for LinkedIn, Google, ChatGPT for premium services built from abroad, GST applies. Companies in India paying for Microsoft Office 365 or AWS cloud services must pay GST in the reverse charge. So the key takeaway, as if money goes outside India for services, GST still follows the transaction. Now, till now, we have studied basically supply with consideration. Now, here's something very important: supply can exist even without consideration. Certain activities listed in Schedule 1 of the CGST Act, like transactions between related parties or between branches of the same entity in different states, are treated as supply even if no payment is made. We can surely discuss about activities or transactions covered in Schedule 1 in our upcoming episodes. Once a transaction qualifies as supply, the law further clarifies it as either a supply of goods or supply of service based on rules in Schedule 2. This classification matters because GST rates and compliance can differ. So basically, Schedule 2 tells us about what is good and what is a service. Accordingly, GST rates shall be applicable for goods as per goods rate and for services as per services rate. However, not everything is treated as supply. Activities listed in Schedule 3, such as services by employees to employers or sale of land, as we discussed earlier, and completed buildings, are neither supply of goods nor supply of services, and therefore these are outside GST. Additionally, certain activities performed by government as public authorities may also be excluded from supply if notified. Finally, the government has the power, based on GST Council recommendations, to clarify whether specific transactions should be treated as supply of goods or supply of services. Now we can summarize that Schedule 7 defines supply very broadly. It includes most business transactions involving goods or services, import of services, and even some transactions without consideration between related parties, while also clearly excluding certain activities which are specified in Schedule 3. And Schedule 2 again tells us what is goods and what is service. This definition forms the foundation of GST because without supply, there is no GST. I hope you all liked the episode, and I will be coming up with more clarity on the GST subject in my upcoming episodes. So keep watching, keep sharing, and keep liking. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.